Hey 302, I'm Jackie Ferris. If you've been to Wilmington, Delaware, then you know. In addition to being a gorgeous place with lots of historical and cultural attractions, it's also the hometown of President Joe Biden. Over the years, he's been seen several times grabbing a grilled cheese on the go or taking his wife out for a night on the town, even in the grocery store. Can you imagine running into him in produce? Well, today we're taking a tour of all things Biden. So hop on board. The 302 is hitting the tracks. Hey there, Joe Biden has called Wilmington, Delaware home since the age of 10. Now, that's roughly 68 years. So it's only natural that there's going to be a lot of stories of people who have seen him out and about at various places. Well, the Greater Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau has taken some of those stories and created a tour of places that were milestones not only in his life, but in his career leading up to being the 46th president of the United States. Now, I'm joined by Jen Bose, who is the Media Relations Director for the Greater Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau. She's going to tell us all about this tour. Jen, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask you, first of all, first Wilmington had a vice president, then they got a president. So they must be really proud.
Yeah, we're all really, really proud. We're really excited. And because he's been here so long, he's pretty much touched just about every place you could go to of interest here in Wilmington. So it's a great way for us to promote it and introduce it to more people.
Now, and going onto your website, there's a very long list of places he's been, where he shopped, where he's eaten, where he went to school. How were you able to get this exhaustive list together?
So, as you know, Delaware is a small state and Northern Delaware is even smaller. So, pretty much everyone in our office is either a native Delawarean or we've lived here a really long time. So, a lot of it is firsthand information, but also we were able to talk to, just our peers, our members, other businesses, and kind of build the list from there. So, a lot of it's firsthand knowledge and a lot of it we just got from word of mouth.
Now, you guys are the go-to whenever it comes to finding out what's happening in the community, where to eat, where to shop, all the events. Have you had people reach out to you and say, I want to go to the president's favorite restaurant, or I want to know more about Wilmington because he's been elected president?
Well, we've seen increased web traffic and a boost in interest on things that have to do with Biden on social media. So in that way, we can show that there's interest, but also interestingly enough, we've been contacted by a couple of tour operators that might be doing something in the future, an organized thing, though nothing's solidified yet that visitors and residents could take advantage of.
So while maybe they're working on a tour itself, you actually put one together. And I want to kind of
Yep.
jump right in. You guys say that the president loves all things Delaware, but especially comfort food. So this tour is, like I said, it's places he's eaten, places he shopped, where he went to school. So I guess the first place that people should start on their tour of all things Biden would be the Biden Welcome Center, right?
Yes, yeah, right off of I-95. That's a great point of entry, especially if you're coming up from the south, because as I said, it's right off of the interstate and it's got information on everything to do with our area as well as the entire state. So you can talk to knowledgeable travel consultants and you also can just pick up the information that's there at the visitor center. So it's a great place to start.
Now, not too far from the Welcome Center is the University of Delaware. Tell us about the president's connection with the university.
So he went to the university. His wife, Jill, got her PhD at the university. He's a longtime fan of the Blue Hens, the football team. In fact, I believe he played football for the Blue Hens for a short period of time. So he has a really close connection there. He has a school named after him there. The campus is absolutely beautiful if you haven't been. So it's a great place to go take a tour, walk around, go to a football game if it's in the season, and then after go down on Main Street and have dinner or lunch at one of the wonderful restaurants down there.
Now, I noticed online that you guys mentioned that he was spotted talking to a high-profile Republican blue hen, right?
Oh, yes, Chris Christie, that's right, uh-huh, yeah, a couple of years ago, because he also went to school there and, as you said, played football for the team as well.
Now, while we're talking about education, there's another school, the Delaware Technical College. Now, that's where Jill Biden taught, right?
Right, the Stanton campus, yeah, for a number of years.
So there's a lot of education that's kind of wrapped into, the places that you can go and check out. I know Archmore Academy in Claymont. That's where,
Archmere, yeah.
yeah, where he went to high school, right?
He went there, as did his 2 sons. And it's a beautiful campus. And another interesting fact that I didn't realize until I started to do research for this tour is that the developer of the Empire State Building, one of the buildings on the campus, was his country estate before the school was a school, before it was a Catholic school. So that's pretty interesting.
Now you mentioned that he went there and his kids went there, and that's a recurring theme in the tour places that he's been with his family because he's really a family guy, and you see that in the community.
Uh-huh. Definitely.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go to Wilmington's riverfront and find out some really cool places that Biden visited there. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bill Wright from Maximum Escape Rooms, and we love the 302. Let me out!
Welcome back. We're talking about Biden's Wilmington, and we're going to head down to the riverfront. Now, Jim, let's talk a little bit about, what has happened in connection with the president at the riverfront.
So it all started when they announced at the 11th hour that we were going to get the majority of the Democratic National Convention here at the riverfront. And then from that point up until the time that President Biden left for Washington, there was lots of excitement down here. When the DNC was here, I mean, media from all over the world covered it. And though we couldn't attend, most of us couldn't attend the DNC festivities physically, they had a big screen TV out front that we could watch. There was a lot of excitement down here, of course, social distance and everybody wearing masks. So then the fireworks show, which was gorgeous, which you could see in throughout a lot of Wilmington and definitely down here at the riverfront where I actually live. And then the media pretty much camped out here from that time until he left for Washington. And it was the coolest thing because I could be in my living room watching a news program with a national news anchor on the TV, and then I'll go walk my dog, and there she is still talking. And I was just watching her on my TV. So that was really cool. It was really exciting. And I think it definitely brought a lot of people down here to check out the riverfront that hadn't been down here previously.
Now, also on the tour is the Joseph R. Biden Railroad Station. I guess Biden has a nickname, right?
Amtrak Joe.
That's right.
So
Tell me a little bit about, did he go back and forth on this?
Yeah, that's the story. So, almost every day back and forth from the train station to DC when he was senator so that he could spend every night with his family. So, yeah. And, as we all know, they now have some years ago, they renamed the train station after him. So.
I don't know, maybe they can squeeze all the Secret Service folks onto one of the train cars and they can go back and forth, you think?
I don't know. We'll have to see, right? Moving forward.
So
that would be fun.
Yeah. So when we're talking about, when he first announced and the milestones throughout his campaign, he did a lot of work out of the Queen, right? And first of all, tell us what the Queen is and what happened there.
So it's primarily a live entertainment venue, and they have a nightclub/bar. And I think that was one of the places that really was fortunate through this whole event of Biden running and then becoming president, because obviously a lot of our businesses, especially places like the Queen, lost revenue because of COVID. And once Biden and Vice President Harris were officially president and vice president, they camped out there until they went to Washington, planning out, the transition and things like that, and what they were going to do in the their first year in the White House. So it was really exciting. It was fun to ride downtown and see all the Secret Service when you knew when Biden and Harris were at the Queen. So that was a lot of fun, and it was great for the Queen to have that visibility and revenue.
And just kind of change the vibe, I would imagine, of downtown.
Yeah, most definitely. And the great thing, I mean, the Queen is right on our what we call restaurant row. So I know that some of the restaurants in that area also benefited from the team that was at the Queen. And then, of course, people that wanted to be downtown just to kind of be part of the excitement as much as they could.
Now, you can't really talk about making history without bringing in Hotel DuPont. So talk to us a little bit about that connection.
So that's where Biden announced that Kamala Harris would be his running mate. And I remember that day well, because our offices are right next to the Hotel DuPont. So all the media was lined up. That was kind of the beginning of this whole thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful property, and they recently redid the green room, the venerable green room, and now it's Le Cave at the green room. So it was kind of a good time for that excitement to happen, because it helped promote all the great things and the new things that the Hotel DuPont has now online.
I know this is an obvious question. You've been to Le Cave, right?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, and the most amazing thing to me is that mosaic tile floor, which I cannot get over. I don't know if they told you the story of this, but they were under the assumption, after talking to people that had worked in that space for years, that there was cement under the floor. And then when they pulled the carpet back, there was this absolutely gorgeous mosaic tile floor that really makes the whole space. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful venue, for a special occasion dinner or brunch.
Now, we did a show when they were closing,
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to do the renovations, and then when they opened, and we talked a little about the new menu, and we looked at the floor and just all the grand opulence. It's still there, but it's a little more comfortable and trendy. So it's really a great place for us to kind of switch gears. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the places that are connected, the comfort food that's connected to the 46th president of the United States. We'll be right back.
You're watching the 302, and I'm David Bromberg. If you don't know who that is, don't worry about it. I have no idea who you are.
Welcome back. We're talking about President Joe Biden and his hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, and everything in the surrounding area. Now, Jen, the president is a lover of comfort food. I mean, who isn't? And there's a long list of restaurants where he loves to, pick up a sandwich or whatever. So I just want to dive right in. Cafe Verde. Tell me about that.
Cafe Verde. So that was I was unaware of that one until I was in town with a writer from Food and Wine. And a person that I know that's close to the family said, you should go to Cafe Verde. And it was such a wonderful moment, because the man that owns that, it's just a small little restaurant in Charlie Square, Italian restaurant. He was just so passionate about the Biden family. And he told us that Biden's daughter, Ashley, used to work there. His son, Beau, and his kids used to eat there a lot, as did the extended Biden family. And he tells us that Joe Biden's favorite dish there is chicken parm. So that was a nice little tidbit. Yeah.
Who doesn't love chicken parm, right? So
I don't know. I love chicken parm.
I know, right? So Italian is kind of a theme here. He really loves Italian food. Now, pardon me if I mispronounce this, and I will go visit this next time we're in town. Piccolina Toscana.
Yeah. So that restaurant, for those of you that don't know, has been around for a long time. It's definitely a Wilmington staple, and not very far from Cafe Verde. But the Bidens are longtime fans, according to chef owner Dan Butler of that restaurant. And Biden's go-to dish there is capellini pomodoro, according to them. And then also they catered daughter Ashley's wedding at the Biden's home in Greenville when she got married a number of years ago. So it's a great little spot. I actually went there last night for dinner myself. So
Really? And what did you have?
I had eggplant Parmesan sandwich. It was very good.
Oh, so if you had to recommend something, would that be the dish you would recommend, or what are they known for?
I like any kind of pasta. Their pasta's house made. Any kind of pasta dish there is delicious.
Excellent.
Their
So
pizzas are good too. They have pizza night, which actually I think was last night, which would have been Tuesday night. Yeah. Pizzas
So
are
when,
good too.
so when we're talking about food, what about soul food? I understand there's a place called Walter's Flavor Crisp Chicken Express.
Yes. I'm a big fan of Waltz as well. The Bidens have gotten, according to the owners, it's primarily a takeout place. There's a little place that you can eat inside, but they've gotten takeout. They've got excellent fried chicken, as well as, if you like, which I am a big fan of, macaroni and cheese. They have excellent macaroni and cheese, and they have excellent collard greens. It's one of the best places to get fried chicken in Delaware, I think.
Now, one of the places that the 302 crew loves, every single time we're in town, we go to Pizza by Elizabeth's. Just amazing. But Biden loves it there too, right?
Yes, so they have a lot of good stories to tell as well. So back when Biden was vice president, he would come in for lunch a lot with his Secret Service detail. And they would say they loved to go there with him because it was one of the more casual stops. And his favorite thing to eat there, according to the manager, is the tomato soup, which is super good, and then the grilled cheese. So when I was there recently with a writer, and we ordered the grilled cheese, but it's actually a pizza. So it's a grilled cheese pizza, and it is delicious. And that paired with the soup is a perfect meal on a kind of a chilly day. It's great.
We'll have to check that out the next time we go. I'm partial to the curry chicken salad, but when you say casual, it's elegant.
It's
and
elegant.
Casual at the same time. And tell me about the names. For somebody who hasn't been there, it'll blow your mind when you go into this place.
So the two original owners are Elizabeth. They're both named Elizabeth. And all of the pizzas are named after famous Elizabeths. Elizabeth Taylor, Elizabeth Shue, which I think is a really, really neat, kind of take on that. It's a fun place. And like you said, it is very elegant.
So whenever we're done eating all of our food, maybe we have to digest it a little bit, get some exercise, which brings me to the Joseph R. Biden Aquatic Center. Now that goes way, way back in his history.
Yeah. So that's a community pool in his younger days. And that's where he really connected with the local community. And actually not far from that, another interesting side note is that Bob Marley, the reggae singer, lived in Wilmington for a time, and the home that he lived in with his mother is very close to that pool on Tatnall Street. I mean, it's just a home. You can do nothing but drive by it, but it's just kind of an interesting aside.
So a lot of history in that area. So
Yes.
I want to shift gears and talk about shopping. I guess we just talked about Pizza by Elizabeth's, which is in the Greenville Crossing Shopping Center, but there's a lot of other stuff, like the place where he goes grocery shopping is there.
Oh, Jansen's Market. Yeah. It's a great place to pick up gourmet items. They've got an amazing cheese selection. I mean, they did charcuterie boards before charcuterie boards were a thing. Flowers. I have been told that Joe Biden buys a lot of her fresh flowers from Jansen's, and they have a really nice little cafe where they have a sandwich that is named after Joe Biden, and is apparently a very popular menu item.
So for the ladies who like to shop, there are a couple of places that Jill Biden frequents: Hoopette, Whimsy, and Peter Kate, which is not in that.
Yeah, that's on 202.
Yeah. So tell me about, just the beauty and the fashion and the pampering aspect of Jill Biden in Wilmington.
So I know that I go to Whimsy myself for, gift cards and gift items. And the ladies there tell me that that's her go-to place for bridal shower and baby shower items. It's a great little spot. Hoopette is a great place for makeup. They also do skin treatments. I've been told that Joe Biden is partial to their bath salts. And beyond that, I mean, I'm sure that at one time or another, either Jill or Joe has been in most of the shops in Greenville, as they live right around the corner. But for those of you that haven't been there, are a lot of really great shops there, in addition to, women's clothing, men's clothing, things like that. It's a great place to spend an afternoon. And of course, Brouhaha is there, which is a Delaware chain that has great coffee and great food. And that's been Biden's go-to cup of coffee for many years now in Delaware.
So we've talked a lot about places to go visit, to see where to shop and everything. So should people, if they want to follow the breadcrumbs and kind of recreate what we've been talking about, do they go to the website, or do you have something that you can give them?
So I would suggest going to our website and clicking on our blog, because there's a blog right up there that covers all that we talked about today and much more. And then if there's any specific or tailored advice you want, you can go to our live chat, and I'll go ahead and tell you what the website is now. It's easy to remember. It's www.visitwilmingtonde.com.
All right, Jen, thank you so much. You've certainly given me a lot of ideas.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. For more information on the Biden tour, you can go to visitwilmingtonde.com. That'll do it for this episode of the 302. We leave you now with a beautiful shot of the Brandywine River. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. We'll see you on the 302.